And here we go. Game number 1 about to get underway in the top 8.
See who gets to go first. That may be very important here. I think it's safe to say that duelist will have an advantage.
6 and a 7. Looks like Vincent's got it. He's starting off with... Or perhaps he did not. I think I might have gotten my dice results reversed.
Could be. Looks like Kanadiest is starting, and he's starting with Perlerino, so he's off to a good start. He's using it to get Sheeran. He is using Sheeran's effect to special summon it. Looks like he'll send Merle to the graveyard, and then Sheeran will send the top 3 cards of his deck to the graveyard. Terraforming, Scream, and I believe that's Mudora.
It is. That's a pretty good 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's not bad. And he already has the Perlerino, so the terraforming wasn't particularly important.
He's going to activate the Scream here, pick up a trap card. Picks up Crime. Presumably already has Celiac. That or he knows what his opponent's playing and values negating starter.
I think it's safe to say he does know what his opponent's playing at this point when there are only 8 duelists left.
And they may have played earlier.
That is also very possible. So he will summon Kitkalos, use its effect, but Infinite Impermanence on Vincent's side negates it.
There you go. It's a pretty good argument to have Infinite Impermanence in your deck.
It certainly is. Kanadiest uses his normal summon on Diviner of the Herald.
The Diviner's just so scary here.
What level will it become?
It's more like, what's it going to send?
Looks like he wanted Keldo, but maybe reconsidering.
Yeah, and he put it in the graveyard, so he's going to be made to commit to that play. So he was thinking, oh, no, I already have something to shuffle things back. Let me go get something else instead, like a Kelback or an Yugioh.
And that might have been better. Especially since Keldo may not be that relevant against Sprite. It should line up well with the Bestials, though, and could also help him trigger his Perlerino.
Yeah, maybe you can stop Elf, for instance. There's a lot of good things you can do with them in this matchup.
That is true. It does come up, but it's not quite as effective as it is in the mirror match. Vincent normal summons Sprite Jet, not the best normal summon he can have.
And activates it. Does not activate. Special summons Blue.
Yeah, unfortunately he couldn't activate it because it was his normal summon. He's not using Blue's effect?
Not using Blue's effect. I guess he's trying to play around Halfness.
But he's summoning Nightmare Phoenix and using its effect. So he'll discard the Angler.
And target Perlerino. Now all 3 of his cards are going back. So Angler's gone, Perlerino's gone, Terraforming's going back.
Yeah, so the Keldo's effect sent back the Angler. I'm still trying to figure out why he didn't use Blue's effect.
It's just trying to not run into the crime. He's got Kelbeck in hand. Ooh.
Oh boy, that discard from the Phoenix caused him to send a card from his hand to his graveyard.
Chain Smashers and banishes the Nightmare Phoenix to banish Kitkalos.
Kelbeck will still be... Kelbeck will not be summoned because that monster is no longer on the field, the special summon monster, right?
Oh, we can take a look at Kelbeck's text real fast.
Oh, it looks like it will. That may be the discussion they were having. I guess it just needs to target the monster in order to be summoned.
Whatever just happened here, the cards got cleaned up in a hurry.
Yeah, they're wasting no time.
So Kelbeck is, you can target a special summon monster your opponent controls, specials this, summon card, this card from your hand, then return that monster. So you do still summon it.
Yes, okay. I didn't realize that was how it was worded. So as long as you've already targeted the special summon monster, you can make sure Kelbeck makes it to the field. And that's what happened there. Vincent just did not see himself winning that duel, so he gave the concession.
Yeah, that's tough. I assume he wasn't activating cards because he was trying to play around the crime that he knew was there.
Yeah, that was definitely a rough duel for him. He had the infinite impermanence, but it just wasn't enough negating Kitkalos' effect.
No, he needed more summons, essentially. As our duelists side for the second duel. Just doing a quick check-in on our last remaining top 16 match. Which it appears is still going on last I checked.
We might have a duelist determined to be, who is determined to be playing in the top 4 before we have that result. At the rate this is going. Hopefully for Vincent he can turn this around and push it to a third duel. Otherwise we're going to see Sprites exit from the tournament here in the top 8.
Very intense feeling here at the table.
Yeah, Vincent will be able to go first in the second duel, so that will change things for him since the first duel. So that will hopefully for him, make this duel go a little more favorably. Unless he's going to choose to go second.
Yeah, I had thought he had won the die roll.
It's possible. It's possible.
I thought that's what happened.
That's surprising to me, though, because Sprite is generally a deck that can set up a strong first-turn field and tries to pin down opponents using totally awesome Sprite Elf and an assortment of other negations afforded to them by the different low-level Sprite monsters.
I think the only reason you would go second in this case is if you built your deck so that it's full of like a diverse suite of defensive cards that you can also turn into offense.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a Flewonderous player at the last YCS choosing to go second, but he was playing multiple copies of Lightning Storm, evenly matched. His deck was built to go second, and we haven't really seen that from Vincent yet. So,
all right, so game 2 is getting underway here, and he has chose to go second. So we did see that correctly. And Kanadiest starts with pitch Yugioh, summon Keldo.
Pretty strong right off the bat. I'm sure we'll be seeing Yugioh's effect activated. He'll search for Midora with the effect of Keldo, since Midora mentions Exchange of the Spirit. I believe that's Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, stopping the effect of Yugioh.
It is. It's okay to give him the search, but you can't give him those 5.
Well, Merle's
Gonna
going to
get
hit 3. And one of them's already a Sheeran.
Oh.
So he gets Sheeran and is that Midora? Looks like a Midora,
Yep,
which is
Midora.
also not a bad hit.
It's interesting that he did catch him with the going second cards in his deck, like Lightning Storm.
Yes, but Vincent does have a Bestial, which he's using to banish the Sheeran so that its effect can't activate to return it to the deck. So he definitely does have a lot of cards that activate from the hand to disrupt Kanadiest on Kanadiest's first turn of the duel, including the Bestials, but I'm still surprised, even in spite of that, I'm still surprised that he chooses to go second in a deck that can set up a number of negations on the first turn. I think that's rather unconventional.
Kanadiest tries to give him a taste of his own medicine with a Sprite monster, Sprite Srind.
Sprint is likely to send Merle to the graveyard, and Kanadiest has not yet used Merle's effect. So that's going to be another fusion summon he's able to perform if Vincent can't stop it.
Now, has he got another Bestial? No.
It appears not, because he's sending both Merle's to the deck, and he is going to summon Kith.
And it's tough here because the impermanence won't help now that he's got a monster on the field.
That's true. If he had the impermanence, he perhaps would have allowed the fusion summon to resolve.
So Ash plus Bestial might be as far as it goes in terms of defense. And I think that's Serenir as well, so you're not really getting a whole lot of it out of it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Sometimes it's hard to tell them apart on stream.
Yeah, they have different tints to them, right? So like Magnamut is the red one, Druid's Form is the green one.
We're going to see Kith effect summon Rhino Heart. And the effects of Kith and Rhino Heart will also activate. He'll send the top 5 cards of his deck to the graveyard first. He got a Merle, whose effect he already used.
So it's a Kelbeck?
Kelbeck and a Rhino Heart.
So Kelbeck, I believe he did activate, but it was hit by Ash.
Yes, he discarded. No, I think it was a Yugioh that he discarded to summon.
Oh, that's right, it was a Yugioh.
So he can still Kelbeck.
It's a Yugioh. It blends together sometimes when they have those shared effects.
Yeah, although it also helps. It helps me remember what the cards do when they have similarities. Where 2 of them can special summon from the hand by discarding a card. The other 2 are when your opponent sends a card from their hand or deck to the grave, and then 2 of them send 3 cards back to the deck, whereas the other 2 send 5 cards to the graveyard.
It's a similar thing in like when you talk about deck building. In the old days, it was like specific cards, like I need this card and this card and this card. But nowadays, you often build towards like categories of cards. I need something from category A, something from category B, something from category C.
Yes. Cards that send the top 5 cards of the deck to the graveyard, for example, is usually a good starter for the deck. So he is using Kelbeck's effect. We can't see what Kanadiest is flipping. But we do see that Vincent flips...
A big pile of Bestials.
Yeah, 3 Bestials, an Infinite Impermanence, and maybe it was a Sprite Smashers. It was definitely a spell card, but nothing relevant. Kaleido Heart's going to send back Vincent's only monster. Vincent hasn't even had a turn yet, and he's already running out of cards.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the Bestial that he had was the one that doesn't get you another card.
Yeah, Magnum Hut would have been a lot better.
Even like sending a special summon monster away could help here too.
Yeah, I mean, he got returned to his deck anyway, though.
That's true.
So I mean, I guess it served its purpose, right? It stopped the fusion summon, but unfortunately that was just insufficient.
Oh, yeah, the normal summon. Yeah.
Oh man, and again, Vincent normal summons Jet.
Sure.
Again, not the card you want to be normal summoning. But now special summon Sprite. Because he has another jet. That's the only way that makes sense.
Got another jet.
So he'll special summon that one. Now he can use that Jet's once per turn effect.
And now we're going to get Happiness.
Vincent may be forced to use his Red's effect.
It's tough because, when you do that, though, you're going to get hit by Cosmic Cyclone. Oh,
Sulliek.
So Sulliek and chains Cosmic Cyclone.
Since it's continuous, Cosmic Cyclone will banish it. And Vincent will search his deck for Sprite Starter. So now he can start doing the things he likes. He does resolve it, which locks him into level, link, and rank 2 monsters for the rest of the turn. But he gets a special summon Sprite Blue by giving up 1,100 life points, which is equal to its attack points. And now he's off. Blue's effect searches for another Sprite monster. It looks like he's taking Carrot. He special summons it, so now he has access to negation of spell and trap cards. If he keeps that on the field, he won't have to worry about what Kanadiest's face down card is.
Unless it's a counter trap.
True. Spell speed 2 isn't quite as quick.
Could be the crime.
He links him in Sprite Sprint, uses its effect. He's going to dump the Angler. Angler's effect will allow him to special summon 2 Beavers. So that linked summon of Sprint essentially nets him 1 additional monster. I think we're going to see him use that Sprint in an Xyz summon for Gigantic Sprite soon.
There it is.
3,200 attack points, thanks to the Link monster under it. So he will activate its effect, and on its resolution, he will detach the Beaver.
Now both players are locked into level 2s. Level 2, rank 2, link 2s.
Yeah, so that will severely restrict what Kanadiest is able to do.
Notably in this case, now that Happiness has already been used for the turn, notably it'll stop Bestials.
Yes. So Vincent special summons. Looks like he got Blue.
He did.
Gigantic Sprite, even though he already used Blue's effect. I guess he just had nothing better to take.
Yeah, sometimes you just need the level 2 body out there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And goes back to his extra deck. Looking longingly at that Toad, but he can't get there quite yet.
Onibimaru gets Xyz summoned by combining 2 level 2s. Gigantic Sprite really is gigantic as it attacks and destroys Kaleido Heart.
Yep.
Onibimaru destroys Rhino Heart. I guess he just summoned it for its attack points.
Phase 2? 17.6. That should be okay. So
And it's interesting, in main phase 2, he banishes the Sprint. I guess he was concerned about what...
He shouldn't have
Vincent
banished the Sprint. Shouldn't have banished the Sprint.
Well, he's going to use the Carrot's effect to negate the Lightning Storm.
Right, but now he can't negate something else that's radically important.
He can't negate his Spell or Trap, but he still has the Red as well. So it's not the be-all, end-all for Vincent. Yeah, I mean, that's tough. I feel like he kind of had to banish the Sprint, right? Do you really want to leave that on his field?
What's it going to do there, other than be material?
Maybe bounce a monster to the hand if he performs an Xyz summon.
And then send something else.
I don't know.
It's a lot of stuff I think would have to happen there.
You're probably right. You've convinced me. So Happiness's effect activates. Kanadiest is extremely disappointed by its resolution, and Vincent is back in the driver's seat. Sprite Sprint does come back at the end of Kanadiest's turn.
Stand by main phase 1.
I think Onibimaru only shuffles the banished card back into the deck if it's destroyed, right?
Next guy pops.
Havness hits this time, and it hits a Kelbeck. Whereas Vincent gets Sprite Jet out of the deck.
Yeah,
Now, it's Vincent's turn, so Jet will be Chainlink 1. Kelbeck will be Chainlink 2.
I just confirmed Onibimaru will only shuffle the banished cards back into the deck if it's destroyed by an opponent's card effect, actually. So he wasn't able to. Now we're seeing cards flip, and that could be what brings Kanadiest back into the duel.
Oh, is that a Dimension Shifter? I don't think I've seen that one yet in Sprite.
That's probably why he chose to go second, or at least could be part of it. That obviously is a strong card to draw in your opening hand when you do go second. So that gives us a little bit of insight into that choice that Vincent made.
Yeah, it's always tough. Like, if you're not playing Exorcister or Foulanderies, whether you want to main deck or side deck the Shifter, assuming your deck is compatible with it.
Yeah. And, Sprite decks do use the graveyard, but they're not nearly as vulnerable to Shifter as the Tier Limits deck. So I do like the idea of using it.
It's one of the reasons why you might not main deck it is because, it's a dead card against, say, Foulanderies or Exorcister, and it's okay against Sprite.
Right.
But if you have a 2-round bye going into the tournament, maybe you're more likely to do it.
That's true, because you are going to be more likely to play against Tier Limits, since you'll be playing undefeated duelists from round 3 on. Well,
hopefully.
In round 3. And then from then on, you're going to be playing duelists with at least 2 wins.
So 1600 Gigantic Sprite attacks Sprind. Jet takes on Merly. And Red takes on Havness. And Carrot attacks directly.
I'm at 15-9.
And Scott Kennedy's down to 1 card.
This is probably Kanadiest's last chance to draw something that will save him.
Now, he's got all of those Ishizu effects stocked up from throughout the duel, so he can send a bunch of rather good cards back into his deck.
But that won't help him deal with Vincent's field.
Well, I mean, it could if one of them was Sphere Mode, for instance.
True, but suppose he drew Sphere Mode. He got rid of 3 of Vincent's cards and had no follow-up.
Yeah, no follow-up is rough.
Yeah.
But we're going to get Planet Instant Fusion.
Okay, both of those are power cards. So he is indeed using his Ishizu cards to try to improve his odds of drawing something that will save him.
Yeah, and you only want to use 3. Like, you don't want to shuffle 3 back. You don't want to use both there because you are trying to improve the odds.
Yes.
You don't want to dilute it with cards that aren't the best cards for the situation.
So he's going to special summon Eudora by discarding a Yugioh, and that will allow him to send the top 5 cards of each deck to the graveyard. So Vincent's contemplating using Red's effect, and it looks like he will. So he gets to negate the effect of a Yugioh.
Yep. But Eudora will hit the field.
Unfortunately for Kanadiest, Eudora does not have a relevant effect. Or stats big enough to beat the Gigantic Sprite.
It's only 1,500, right?
Yes.
The original is 1,500 plus 200 for all your fairies.
Yes. The original would be a lot stronger here because there are quite a few fairies in the graveyard.
Goes after Carrot.
Well, that's interesting. He took down the Spell and Trap Negator rather than Red. He must be hoping his next card is just something like Brillarino.
Interesting that it's all tied up right now. 5,900 apiece.
Yes, but the fields say otherwise.
They do, but, I've had tier limits down to, 1, maybe 2 cards enough times to know that you are 1 monster effect activation away from, oops, Havness all names.
It's true, it does happen. Vincent is basically cut off from his sprite elf, which would really help him advance his field, because Kanadiest has the Ishizu monsters just to shuffle back anything the elf would target to special summon.
Oh,
So-
Vincent's got a Bestial.
That's a good way to advance his field.
Putting back...
Looked like he targeted Merly.
Yep, attempting to anyways. Left it there because Kanadiest might want to send it back himself.
It wouldn't surprise me, because I don't know that Kanadiest can afford that extra 2,500 points of damage. And he will banish the Midora. Looks like he might want to send the Lightning Storm back to his deck as another live top deck.
That would explain getting rid of the spell trap negation. Especially, oh, I guess also if you're trying to draw into planet, you would want to do that as well.
Yeah, I think probably he was thinking planet when he did it. Terraforming to draw planet. Yeah, he's on that spell plan, and he sent a Merly back as an extra Merly back as well.
I'll take a look at what's left here. If he has another one, and he does, you see it stopped for just a moment there on the Keldo.
Yeah, so the Bestial is not hitting the field right now, but that's still going to be a problem for Kanadiest, because if he only gets one Tearlament monster activation from the graveyard, it'll be stopped. As long
His
as
other
he
card
goes
is
monster.
also a Bestial, Magnumut.
Oh,
So we're going to force both of these out, and then be able to go into the Sprite Elf.
does Kanadiest only have one more? Well, yeah, he can only have one other Ishizu monster to use.
And he allows it.
That's probably what Kanadiest was thinking. I
Yeah.
have to allow it, or he's going to summon Sprite Elf and it's over. All right, so Vincent still doesn't have enough damage on the table to end it. So Kanadiest has that one more draw.
12. What do you mean?
Is there anything? I mean, I guess Lightning Storm would be helpful. Hey,
From
yeah, I guess. No, it wouldn't be helpful enough, because we know that Vincent has another Bestial in his hand, right?
16?
He does, yes. You know, I didn't see whether or not Vincent activated his Magnum effect when he summoned it.
I don't think it was a Magnum Hunt, right?
Is it not? Is it? Which one is
Oh,
it?
it's
Oh,
Screw
it's
Us Worm.
Screw Us Worm.
So it'll be 11? Oh, 21, correct.
Yeah, Magnum Hut is like brighter on the stream. In
Yeah,
my
it-
eyes,
it
but
looks-
Screw Us Worm and Saronir look similar to me. I don't know.
Goes for Sprite Starter, bringing out blue.
Blue's effect.
Now is this happening in the battle phase?
It must
Like, can he still attack
Yes.
with it?
He's pushing it forward, indicating an attack. So I
So-
assume so.
Both players taking the same amount there.
Is it? I guess he has nothing to search for, because he didn't take
So only
anything.
48, right?
He looked through his deck.
No, it was a 59, right?
And does Kanadiest have any cards in hand? Looks like no.
No, I believe he has 0. So I don't know if there's anything he can draw. We have one card that banishes. We have one Bestial to banish a card from Kanadiest's graveyard if he tries to activate the effect of Tearlament, plus we have red. I think he's just so out-carded, there's no way for Kanadiest to turn this around.
Main phase 2.
We send those two to the graveyard. For the Sprite Elf, might as well get the cards out of the way.
Yeah, those two cards weren't doing more than the elf was. He's going to try to special summon the carrot. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't take anything with the blues effect.
Correct.
He may have considered making the elf before using the Sprite Starter, then using elf's effect to shuffle, to try to special summon the carrot, which would prompt Kanadiest to shuffle into the deck, so he'd then be able to to add it to his hand with the effect of blue after using Starter.
And it's taking quite a long time here on this particular effect. Once the graveyards start getting big, you just have to go every single time.
How did he get rid of the elf?
Let's go to game
Must have tributed it off to negate the monster effect.
Oh, he used the red's
Monster
effect.
effect.
I see. Yeah, so he used red's effect, tributing the elf, because the carrot's more valuable, because against 0 cards in hand, he had a spellcraft and monster negation.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
smart play.
Yeah, so it didn't look good for Vincent there at the start, but things turned around very quickly once he was able to establish both of the negations from the sprite deck. And we saw Gigantic Sprite get in there quite a bit as well. The 3200 attack came in handy,
Yeah.
and then even down to 16, he was able to trade blows with Budora and come out victorious.
And then it became a link material for the elf, so...
It's the longest I've seen a Gigantic Sprite stick around in one of these games.
He's gigantic. He never goes away. Yeah, so, and choosing to go second worked out for him in that duel as well, which I was a little skeptical of.
And it's got to be kind of in Kennedy's head a little bit now, because you saw he put in the lightning swarms and stuff, all of his own going second cards.
Yeah, so now if he side decks thinking he's going...
Well, I mean, he gets to choose, right?
Oh, yeah, yes. No,
But
you're
he's
right.
got to think, you know, does he want me to go first? Do I make him go second?
Yeah,
Keep
so-
my going second cards in?
Yeah, so
What
the
do you
really,
do?
the mind game is for Vincent to figure out, is he going to make me go first because I chose to go second? So the Cali, you're right, Kanadiest gets to choose, so he knows exactly how to side deck.
I kind of get the feeling that Vincent doesn't care. I don't think he cares. I think he's just built his deck to work either way, and he's just having his opponent go first to mess with them.
True, but if Vincent is going to be chosen to go first, he's not going to want cards like Dimension Shifter in his deck, right?
Why not?
He's going to have a turn 1 where he builds no graveyard, otherwise he can't use it.
Okay.
No, all right. Or he can just use it immediately, I guess. It's certainly stronger going second.
Yeah. But it's just, I think if you're Vincent, you're probably thinking there's no way he's making me, the sprite deck that makes the toad, go first.
That's certainly what I'd be thinking. But we just saw Vincent choose to go second.
Yep.
So that's what really shakes things up, because going into this duel, I'm sure Kanadiest thought Vincent wants to go first. But having seen him choose to go second, now you don't know what you want to do.
And it's been both times as well. Like, he won the die roll and went second.
Yes. So I expect Kanadiest to choose to go first, but we'll see. Still a healthy 22 minutes left in the round. That should be more than enough time for one duel.
And that's all they've got left here is this one game 3 to decide who is going to the quarterfinals, or the semifinals. This is the quarterfinals.
I think I heard Candy say he'll start. And he will. He'll start by summoning Keldo, discarding Kelbeck from his hand.
A Chains Shifter.
Oh, brutal.
Chains Shifter. All those cards gone.
That's that Clutch Dimension Shifter going second in the opening hand. All 5 cards.
Can we say that it's like Tears in the Rain? I don't think we can.
Oh boy.
More like Tears Down the Drain.
Where do you go from here if you're Kanadiest? You
you-
set a card and you pass your turn.
It's go. All right, so Shifter still for one more turn here. And Kanadiest has got a tier on the field and a face down card. And you see normal summon Jet for the third game in a row.
He really likes to normal summon Jet.
It's because it's the best normal summon, obviously.
Special summon Red. Let's see if he has another Jet or if he just did in that order so that Red's effect is immediately online. Both are possibilities. Yeah, once again,
It's
he has
Jet,
another
Red,
Jet. This is looking very similar to the second duel, which could be a good sign for Vincent since he won that one.
I've seen this field before. He goes for crime.
What's that?
I send one card to graveyard and negates and shuffle it back to the deck, and I send one more.
They're probably checking if
Yeah,
you
they're
can use
checking
that
if
under
it's a
shift
cost.
or-
But like the whole thing with the tier cards is that they're all effects, so that they all set off the tier limit monsters.
Yes, it negates the activation, then sends a card.
And that'll send it back to the deck.
So, you...
Did not see what the card was. It was a tier.
So Jet's effect was negated. Vincent doesn't have access to that again. He will summon Gigantic Sprite. He's not going to be able to summon Totally Awesome, most likely, since he's still under the effect of Shifter. He will get blue, though, use its effect.
I don't think he necessarily needs Toad here. Like, he's just gotten rid of so many of Kanadiest's cards and got them all banished. Like, making him use the crime while he was under Shifter is just nasty.
Yeah, he's going to get Carrot with blue's effect, since he already special summoned red. So he's just gradually adding sprite monsters to the field.
Checking to see what else he's got there. Don't want to get all your stuff banished. But he's thinking about the Onibimaru Soul Sweeper and looking at the attack points of the monsters on the field.
Yeah, I think that's really all he wants to do. I think if he's not winning this turn, his goal is just to wipe out Kanadiest monsters while they'd still be banished.
And yeah, if you get that Keldo gone, that's big.
Yeah, which he certainly can because its attack points are lower than the Gigantic Sprites. They're 1,200 if I remember correctly from the original Keldo.
Onibimaru attacks the tier limit, gets that out of here. And Gigantic Sprite attacks Keldo, that's gone too, and that leaves Kanadiest with just a Keldeck in the graveyard, which does exactly nothing. And sets a card which looked like Smashers, and now the effect of Dimension Shifter has ended.
So now
Kanadiest
Kanadiest
comes up with Diviner.
could be good.
That's a pretty good draw.
Let's see if Vincent has Ash Blossom or anything to stop Yugioh.
Do I know any of your hands or snap card?
That's an incredible draw.
And now he needs a good 5 cards, though. If it's 5 blanks, it's not getting him anywhere.
And he has no tiers right now, so he needs to hit at least 2.
Oh, he hit 2.
Immediately
right there.
hits 2.
2 tier limits, Perlerino, Ghost Reaper, and in a Herald of Orange Light. So the 2 tiers are the 2 relevant cards there. I'm not sure what Vincent sent, but in all likelihood, they're not relevant.
Well, let's see if he's got a Bestial in hand. Because if the last card in hand is a Bestial, things could still go a little wrong. Because both of those have to make it. I got a Beaver, Bestial. Impermanence. Jet.
Yeah.
We'll see if Kanadiest uses the effects of his tier limit monsters to try to fusion summon both. Yes, he will.
Actually, Marley and Siren.
So now even if Vincent has a Bestial, one of those fusion effects will still resolve.
For what?
That's true. True. He would no longer have 2 tier elements to fuse. Good point. But it doesn't look like he has it because they're going back into the deck.
And we've got Kith here. Kith is going to get something. We'll find out what it is, whether it's the hand or graveyard.
He takes Merly. We'll see if this prompts the Smashers. It will, in fact, prompt Smashers to just banish Kid immediately. He's going to give up the Onibimaru to do it, expecting to keep his gigantic sprite into the next turn and be able to use it effectively.
So Kanadiest used his normal summon here.
Yes.
So that Merly's just stuck.
Yes, and Vincent knows that because Kanadiest has no other cards in his hand. So he sees that gigantic sprite making it to the next turn. Kanadiest has no choice but to pass his turn.
It is a Bestial.
Oh.
The final one is a Bestial.
Interesting, but why do you suppose he chose not to use it?
Is that...
And that's it. Vincent wins and advances with Sprite to the top four.
It's because he's just going to OTK him next turn. He was just holding it. Ah, wow. That's a heck of a turnaround.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah, he had perfect